Cape Town storms have left many families devastated after their homes were flooded at the weekend. On Sunday, Western Cape experienced torrential rains that caused severe damage in some areas. The province has dispatched disaster management teams to assess the damage and assist those in need. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is in Cape Town. Nqobile, you are standing by to tell us what is happening where you are this hour. Place yourself for us.
Well, yes, to do. In fact, we are in Kraaifontein. I just want to show you what's happening here. So some of the families that you see here are waiting to get some of services from from Gift of the Givers. This, of course, because about 350 houses here have been affected, some of them flooded, and you can just imagine when there's flooding what happens to the house. I mean, we've already gone inside to sort of see the extent of the damage, and a lot of families here are just saying that this is such a difficult moment for them, so any assistance that can be given to them is very much needed. But I want to bring in someone who is personally affected, and Mama, you were just telling me a little earlier how you are affected, but perhaps just give us an idea what has happened to your home.
Ja, my huis is so oorstroom. Jy kan nie inkom nie in my huis nie, want my huis is vol water. Ons kon skaars geslaap het van Sondag aan te waar dit so begin reën het. So nat is my huis tot in my second se kamer. Dis nie reg nie. En niemand kom om vir ons te kom help nie. Dit is unfair. Dit is groot unfair. En dat is net my huisie, ons is 'n klomp gemeente, wie se huise, vir al ons haar in die Hielstraat, se huise is in fek.
I mean, you're saying that your entire house has been affected, just one room that has not been affected. And do you still have any food?
O, vrou, daar's skaars kos, want my kinders werk. As net ek wat werk. En wat is my geld, wat inkom, so gaat hy uit in die maand.
In this case, Mama, what solution would you say is there for you to get assistance, and of course a lot of other families that have been affected here?
Ek dink die beste is, hulle moet vir ons huise, almal kom help beloof vir ons huise, maar hier kom nooit 'n huisie. Ons soek huise of ons soek, hulle moet kom om ons plekke reg te kom maak. Almal wie se huise, gedamaged se huise moet reg gekom maak raak. Dat is wat ons soek.
Thank you for speaking to us. Well, that there is someone who is affected. To do, as you can hear, she's saying that her house has been affected, just one room that hasn't been completely affected, but her food as well has been spoiled because of what has taken place. And the solution, of course, is that human settlement does come in. And of course, I want to speak to now the people that came here on the scene. Earlier on, you were the people that were able to help this community. Tell me what you think at this point is needed by this community.
Hi, at this point I need food, blankets, clothing, mattresses. That's what the family need here. Water, they can't do nothing now about the water, just to throw it out with buckets. But just to keep the children home. The children didn't go to school because they didn't have uniform to put on today. It is wet. They don't have tumble dryers. They don't have nothing. They might just, the resources is just keep on the weather to make the stuff dry. So I contacted Ali Gift of the Givers, and he said yes, he's going to come help us, and he's here today. And I just want to say thank you very much for that also. Our World Council also for helping us in everything.
And I mean, when you talk about that kind of help that is needed, again, we've spoken to the elderly that's here. What about those ones? Do they still have their documentation that they might need?
Documentations for, sorry?
For SASSA and so on?
Most of them, the children here, don't have IDs, don't have birth certificates. There's a lot of poverty going on here. Poverty is very high, drug abuse is very high, prostitution, everything. As a vulnerable member of Ward 102, I'm taking this community and help them. There's no resources for them, no one help them, and I just want them to also to help themselves. They say one day I can help myself. I'm a teacher. I'm this. I'm that. So this is what I want to do here. I want people to come here. I want people to see how this people is living, what they need to invest in this community and work so they can make this a very happy and safe place for everyone here in our area.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. And I want to bring in the Gift of the Givers. And I mean, people here are saying that they need assistance. I mean, we're hearing clothes, food, the kind of assistance that's needed. Ali, what will you be doing for this community specifically?
Okay, for this community specifically, we'll be distributing hot meals, blankets, toiletries. Our teams are scattered all over the Western Cape. In fact, the calls came in from Sunday already when the Theewaterskloof municipality informed us they've been warned by the South African Weather Services there will be the hardest heat. And yesterday morning at 5:30, that's where the first call came from, where they informed us that the Potterfield has burst its banks and were taking part of the N2 away. Communities like Grabouw, Caledon, Potterfield were completely cut off. Our teams are currently busy in Makassar, Sunflay, Salori Pass Village. We'll be visiting numerous informal settlements around the Western Cape that has reached out to us. Unfortunately, we cannot access the areas that has been completely cut off, and that's your Titwarrens, Robertson, Ashton, Montague. They have also been cut off and where they've been severely affected by the current flooding as well.
And of course, we will be getting to see that. But some of the families that are affected includes the children that were electrocuted. I understand that you have spoken to somebody who's close to that family or the family itself.
In fact, I just spoke to the school principal just before this interview to ask what's the current situation. The family, the grandmothers and the mothers, has gone through to the mortuary to identify the bodies. He said it was a very tragic incident as the parents were looking for the children and they didn't even know they were electrocuted. Only when a community member saw them floating were they notified that the children has passed on. And it's a current sad situation. As we know, there are 8 people that has passed on so far. All 8 has been electrocuted. 4 in the Philippi area and 4 in the Drift Sands area. While busy yesterday in the Grabouw area, we were informed by the local councillor that that one community member has washed away and he has unfortunately passed on, he has drowned. And there is still search for 6 missing people around the Western Cape. So the operations won't be done in a day or two. This is an operation we will continue for the next week. As I said earlier, some of the areas are inaccessible and the community is really hard hit. As in this disaster, there's nothing they could save. Food is washed away in front of them. We just had a call now for supply of animal feed as well, because in the area of Makassar, the sewage water is coming down, which has chemicals in it, making not conducive for animals to eat of the grass where the water is touching.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is Ali from the Gift of the Givers. Well, I'm going to show you what's happening behind me. That is the truck that the community is waiting for from the Gift of the Givers. And of course, this is where they are going to be receiving food as well as that clothing that Ali was speaking about. So they are now parking and the community is going to start receiving that assistance. But of course what we're hearing from Ali is that more people also still being searched for. There are a lot of communities that are still cut off. As we were arriving here, there was also some of the members from Eskom who were also trying to restore electricity in these affected areas. And of course, we are going to be on the ground to monitor what is happening. We are trying to speak to also the leaders in the community, as well as speaking to the political leaders in this area. We understand that the Premier is also going to be having a media conference, which is going to be just after 1. So there's quite a lot that is happening to sort of look into how people can be assisted. We have heard as well that some of the teams are also on the ground, the disaster team, just looking in terms of managing that impact that people can currently feel and how they can better assist.
Nqobile Madlala, thank you very much for that update.